Now that's what I call budget. You have your comics here, okay? And when you're waiting for a primer to dry or your body filler to dry, you have something to read. Welcome back to the community, everybody, and thank you all for being part of it. Okay, today is part 2 of bodywork. I was going to try to do them back to back, but we had a little issue that I had to tend to. So I'm going to get back on that quarter panel. We're going to get that sanded, coated again, sanded, and in primer, and then move on to the next section. I got seam sealer on the way for the rain gutters. So let's get on it. Okay, if you were here last week for part 1, I went ahead and sanded this all down and I introduced metal Bondo, at least onto my videos. I did read into it. It says there's some type of aluminum in it, is why they call it metal Bondo. This is wavy. I can feel it. That was a new piece of metal welded on, like you can see. And when I was talking about it, I said, hey, we're going to use metal Bondo. This stuff dries super fast, like 10 minutes. And it didn't, because it was so humid in the garage that it stayed tacky. So what I'm going to do first is it recommends, and I've used it before, to start out with 80 grit. This stuff is extremely hard. So I'm going to go ahead and run 80 grit over there. We're going to coat it with Rage, let that dry while we're up here sanding and doing some other stuff. I want this done, this whole section done and in primer today. I'm going to use primer filler. So let's go. All right, so I got some 80 grit. This looks weird here. See how big it is? I only got 1 pack of them to use. I grabbed 6-inch instead of 5-inch by accident, and I opened them. And when you do that, you can't return stuff, which I understand. I'm going to go ahead and cut this down with 80 grit first. Please wear a mask. Do not sand or paint, or just don't do anything. Just use a mask. Please don't inhale stuff like this. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and sand this. I'm going to speed this part up and put some music. Give me a second. This feathered in real nice here. I can feel right here, right in that weld line, I still feel a little dip. We're going to use Rage though on that. I get to feather this out better. I'm going to use my other sander right now. I don't know why I insist on using the little baby orbital, but it's more nice for finishing. That's what I'll use when I do the Rage over top of this. I'm putting 100 grit on right now instead of 80 because this thing's a little more aggressive. I don't want to have to put a bunch back on again. Okay, so now we're at 100 grit. I already did a pass with 60. So I'll bring you back up close because I guess it's a tiny bit more interesting. But this did feather out nice here. It really did. It feels really good. I feel my dip in there, which is fine. Right there, I could see where that seam was, but I didn't want to lay it on too thick to begin with. I'm going to feather this out, give it a sanding with the 100, and we're going to coat it with some Rage. My Rage didn't come in the mail yet. I hope I have enough. Okay, now that really smoothed out nice. I got a little couple pock marks here, here, here. That's okay though, because I'm going to be bringing the Rage across there. But this feathered out really, really nice. Okay, I'm happy. I'll put the Rage here and bring it back. Okay, I get to do these other spots. Hey, I get to hit here, 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 a little bit here, and here. So we're going to go over these. Some of this, I don't know what it looks like on camera, but it's perfectly smooth. I won't need no filler. And I'm using primer filler if there's a couple little peeps there. Oh, peeps, I don't even know what that meant. That needs smooth. Oh, I don't like body work. All right, the 100 grit ripped it down nice. I have a little pocket here. I'm going to mix some Rage up. I'm going to try to keep it right here. The rest of it really don't seem that bad. Everything's smoothed out. I can feel something a little bit there. That's all smooth. May not look it, but it's smooth. Because you got to feather all these edges. Feel a little right there. That's fine. I'll go over that with the orbital because that's getting down into the light stuff when you want to feather it. I'm going to have to do this by hand around there. But okay, let me mix some Rage up and I'm going to put it across here and hopefully it dries fairly quick. It's raining up. It don't seem real horrible. All right, so I got my Rage. This here, what this is lightweight filler. And I'm going to use this to skim coat over it. I have Rage Gold that's on its way, but it didn't make it yet. So I'll use, hopefully there's, I don't feel like there's a ton in here, but for what we're doing today, there should be enough. The Rage Gold should be real lightweight like this. The Rage is not like Bondo that's really hard to sand, you know, things of that nature, little air pockets. The Rage seems to go on much smoother. And it sands real easy. You don't have to get aggressive at first with it. So let me get this mixed up. Give me 1 second. Okay, I got my Rage mixed up. We're going to go ahead and skim coat this. I'll bring you in close. I like working with Rage. It's just a lot smoother than your regular Bondos, especially when it comes time to sand. It's very, very nice. I ordered Rage Gold. And Amazon used to be 2-day Prime, but I don't know what's going on with them lately. And they even got their own trucks now. I don't know why everything's taking so much longer all of a sudden. They shouldn't be telling you 2-day Prime and you pay for that and then, you know, the deal. I don't know why I can never get a nice clean pass like some people do, but it's okay. I'll just sand it. Sanding Rage is not bad. You'll see there's a big difference. I got the bottom all wonky. I don't know if wonky's a word. There we go. I can round that edge out, so I'm not too worried about that. Oh, why didn't I leave it alone? Because I can't. I keep messing with it. Okay, I can see I'm that smooth. There were some spots on here. I wanted to get like there. This is starting to harden up. Not harden, but getting a little tougher to work with. Okay. I was filling around some other spots. Hard for you to see what I'm doing sometimes if I get off camera. There we go. I know you can't see that. Give me 1 second. All right. All right, let me wipe this off. Let me see first. Just letting that dry on the car. A little bit of lacquer thinner. Wipe my board down. So the Rage, I got to look at the can again. But you start off with, I swear it was like 600 or 800. Not like with regular Bondo that you start cutting it with, 100 or 120. This stuff sands very, very easy. I'll look at the can in a second. Because now I can't remember. It's not like I do body work every day, obviously. Let me wipe this off. These aren't expensive, but why keep buying them over and over? I'd rather wipe them off and reuse them. That's what you're supposed to do. There we go. There. It's clean for the next run. Where is it at? Sandable in approximately 20 minutes. I could have swore this said on here what grit they recommend starting out with, because it was a lot lighter than using Bondo. But no, I'm not seeing it, which is really, really weird. Finish. Sandable in approximately 20 minutes. Not so hard filler to desired contour. Finish sand with finer grit sandpaper. I could swear I read it somewhere. Who knows? Take a look at it. There we go. Now you'll see when I'll use the orbital on this. I won't use the palm sander because this stuff cuts down fast. So hopefully when I cut this all down, which we just got to wait 20 minutes, but you won't be there that long. I'll edit the film. Wow, it's hardening up quick. And I wanted to show you the rain gutters. I sprayed that phosphoric acid on. See how that turned black? Right here, not there. Here, let me fix the light. Well, it's a little better. You can see that turned black instead of a rust color. And I did it all the way up and around. Remember we wire wheeled that? All the rust turned black. Now I forget the whole chemical makeup of it. However, it does seal the metal so that it can't spread over and over and keep rusting. So that's all sealed. I did order seam sealer along with the Rage Gold that was supposed to be here this morning. And no, waiting for this to dry. Still feels lightly tacky. No big deal. I sanded all around here by hand. There was no point in me turning it on so you could watch me sand. This up here is all smooth. All here, all the way around. That's all smooth. So what I'm going to do is mask this off with some paper so when I'm priming here, it just don't blow right into the car. It's bad enough I got to re-dye the headliner, which is perfectly fine. So I'm going to mask this window off, and then I'll go ahead and we'll sand this down together. We'll check to see if we need spot glazing putty. If we do, we'll put it on, sand, and prime this whole section. We're going to use primer feeler for it, though. Filler. I keep saying feeler. Now that's what I call budget. You have your comics here, okay? And when you're waiting for a primer to dry or your body filler to dry, you have something to read. All right, let's check this. It still feels a little tacky. I'll wait a few more minutes. I got a few club members stopping by to grab a few things, so I'll go ahead and check the rest of this out, and I'll be right back. I don't want to try to sand it yet. It's still tacky, but it will be in this video. Be right back. All right, this is still lightly tacky. I'm still going to sand it in a few moments here according to editing. I started sanding this. I'm down to here. I'm going to go ahead and remove this. I didn't want to lose this original sticker, but I'll buy another one. And then we'll sand down to here because I'm just going to mask off the rubber that's hooked into the headliner technically, and we'll spray here too. I'm not worried about the heater channel right now, but I want to spray this all in one piece with that. So let's pop this off. All right, let's take our striker plate off. Let me give it a little tap. You ever want to tap? You'll be able to see in my videos, this is a pretty big Phillips. They're not small. Where I had used an impact on the doors when I went ahead and tapped, it looks like this. And that's what sometimes you got to use. So these ones so far, I'm just giving them a little tap to break them loose. Now remember, this is what holds your door closed and up and down. So when it's time to put these back on, don't freak out when your door isn't lined up. Okay, it's not a big deal. All you got to do is move this around and keep retightening until you get your lines lined up on the door. And so it's pulled in far enough. There's a little plate in here that moves around that gives you some play. I really hated to lose this sticker, but it is what it is. Okay. I don't want to remove this. It's been on there since 1968. But trying to mask it off completely would be a nightmare. Trying to sand around it. I believe there's some online vendors who sell these. So I guess it's not a big deal. Wow, this bugger's on there. Woo. There we go. It's starting to come. There's no point in me running sandpaper over it because sometimes it almost heats it up and embeds it onto the metal. So that's been on there for a long time. We'll get all new ones. I know a lot of them do sell this stuff. So I'm just weird about that. Some guy put this on in a factory in late 67 or early 68. And there I am peeling it off. All right, that ain't coming off. I'll sand it. Okay, I just got to sand from here down. And then we're going to go ahead. It's feeling a little better now. And I'll sand from here down. I'll do that by hand real quick. And it's getting there. It's almost there. I should have a fan up here. And then we'll sand this down. We'll get ready to primer this whole side with the primer filler. I sanded this all down here. I wasn't going to show you me sanding by hand because you'd really get bored then. Now, what I am going to do now, that's almost ready to sand down. We'll do that with the orbital, and I'll show you how nice Rage sands down. I'm going to go ahead and show you what we're going to do with some bolts to prevent an issue. So you know what was really cool just now? 2 of the Slade Club members stopped by, and here's a photo of Ed and Willie right here. And I just thought that was cool. They each come by to grab a couple things that I had on a marketplace, and we ended up hanging out for a couple hours talking. I had a great time. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate that. Okay, let's get back to work. All right, as you can see, I went ahead and sanded all this down. So that's all cleaned up. This here, I'll do in the end. I want to get this in primer tonight. We're going to go ahead. That should be good. Still feel Well, we'll find out after I sand. I'm going to go ahead and hit this. I'm going to try 220 on it with the orbital and see what that does, because the rage actually cuts down pretty fast. So let's go ahead. I'll bring you up close. We'll hit the rage if you've never seen rage get used before, but this is all pretty much ready to put this on primer. Let's see how this comes out. Okay, you can't see, but I am putting my dust mask on, just so you know. Make sure you do too. And we got 220. We're going to go ahead and give it a run. This should cut down fairly quick. Oh, good thing I checked that. All right, I'm going to speed up the film. You know what? I'm going to go a little harder. The 220 is working, but it's clogging it up quick, and it just doesn't seem to be. Let me get something a little harsher. All right, I got a sheet of 150 left. I want to try that a minute and see what it does. Oh, that's beat. Okay. We are nice and smooth. Edges feathered out good. Yep. Seems good. Like I said, I got a hit right here, not looking to be scored at Pebble Beach, so. There we go. I like it. 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 Oh, getting old. Okay. What I'm going to do, that one's beat. I'm going to hit this with 220, the whole thing, just to go over it lightly. So I'll speed it up real quick. This come out really nice. Now, if I spray the primer filler on and I see a little blemish somewhere, I can always hit it with spot putty or glazing, whatever they call it. So I'm not that worried about that. But it feels good though. It really, really does. Okay, I'm going to hit this with 220. I'll speed it up real fast just to smooth everything out in case I missed anything. And we're going to go ahead and spray the filler primer. I was trying to look at the can. I think I'm tired today. But okay, let's get our mask on. Do this. Then we're going to have to warm up our primer and put our bolts in. I'll show you what I mean. Bolts. Yes, bolts. Okay, I think we're pretty good. Almost sure. Okay. Alrighty. We're going to get ready as soon as I do the bolt trick and primer this down. think I'm going to take out time tomorrow because I'm going to be home all day. I think I'm going to put the door on a table I have here and get the door done. And that way, this will be done, the door will be done, then I get to the front quarter, then we go to the other side. It's going to come together pretty quick with the paint. Now, what we're going to do here, we are going to take our bolts that hold our fender on, and we're going to put them in the holes, just a couple turns. We're just doing this so the primer and the paint doesn't get in the threaded holes, and then we got to start cleaning them all up again. So you're just turning them in a few turns, and yes, you will have to take your bolts and use a wire wheel to clean them back up. It's sure easier to do that than it is to clean all these threads up. There's that. I'm going to throw a towel over that. Okay. I'll just put a piece of tape over this hole. All right, those are plugged off. And we are going to take our screws that we took out of the striker plate, just on the end of that. And we're going to put them in a couple turns. You definitely don't want the female part of the threads getting crummy. It's always easier to take these screws and bolts and put them on your wire wheel and clean the paint back up. But it's not quite as easy to get in there and clean the threads up. One of the members of the channel had said something interesting not long ago when I did that. What they said is they use the foam, you know, the foam earplugs, you kind of roll them up, put them, they expand. I only have like 3 left. An odd number, like I have 3 ears. They said roll them up, put them in there, and they expand. And that was a really good idea. I can't remember who said it now. It was in one of the comments, but I thought that was a really good idea because I usually have a lot of them on hand. Unfortunately, I'm out of them. But okay, we got that done. I want to wipe this down next. Then I'm going to heat the panel up. I know I do that because I'm weird. I'm going to warm the metal up a little wee bit, and then we're going to get the primer filler. We're going to spray that on, and I'm going to use the attachment on the can. Right, I got to plug one more hole here. I think what I'll do next is the door, and then I'm going to do this heater channel, smooth it all out, and get that done and then primer. Okay, I think we are ready to heat up our metal. You don't have to, but I do. And we'll go ahead and hit it with primer filler. And if there's anything I need to do, I can go over the primer with spot glaze. So let's go ahead. Now you don't have to do this part. I do it because I do it. I'm going to warm the metal up. It's just something I've always done. I'll speed up the film, of course. This is what I'm wearing, and this is what I recommend you wear, or something comparable. Don't just wear a dust mask when you're spraying primer, paints, or clear coats. This is the filler primer I'm using, and yes, this is the budget paint job, so you don't need a compressor. That is already shaken up, and I submerged it in some warm water, very warm water actually, not hot warm water. And I soaked it in there for 10 minutes, dried it off. Make sure you blow your can off so there's not water dripping from it. Come on, get on it without, there we go. Now make sure, there you go, that's angled straight. I like using this. It feels more like a gun when I'm spraying back and forth instead of your finger, you know. Okay. I shook the can up for about 5 minutes, so let's go ahead. I'm doing a light tack coat first.
All right, we're going to let this sit for 10 minutes until it gets a little tacky.
All right, if you see me point, I pointed right there. I see a little boo-boo in the body line, but I can fix it. It's not an issue. I don't like how the nozzle is spraying. Something's not right there. I'll get it figured out. All right, no, get out of here. Let me let it go for 10 minutes, and we'll be right back. Should be ready in a couple more minutes. I seen, watch, I don't touch nothing, right here. Right there on the body line. I gotta fix that, which is fine. It's not a big deal. Just a little bummed because I thought I didn't miss anything, but I did. It's at where I did the Bondo to fix the one area. I can just tell there's a little that needed cut out more. So I'll sand this area down there and repair it. Just a little bummed, that's all. But it happens. It happens. All right, give me 1 second.
Okay, it's been 10 minutes. We're going to shoot our third coat. We need coverage here. I think this can's getting low. I'll probably have to open a different one. I should have already done it, and I didn't. Definitely going to have to sand that down there. I can hear it getting empty. Okay, let me get another can. I'll do it quick so this doesn't get past the tacky stage. In 1 second. Whoop. Okay. Just gotta run it. I might need to do a fourth coat near the rage at the bottom. Almost there. Okay, we're getting there. I don't like how this one's spraying. Okay, I think I'm going to do a fourth coat just down in here. We'll let that dry for 10 minutes. Okay, I want to do one more coat right here. Everything else looks good, for except I got to fix that boo-boo, so. I don't like the way this nozzle's filling. Usually Rustoleum has nice adjustable nozzles. I don't know what's going on here. I noticed it don't have the fan spray where it's adjustable, which I thought was quite odd, but I checked the other cans and they're the same way. Don't know why. What? Why is it doing this? Alright, I think that's it. I got a blemish there, and I got to fix that right there, which is fine.
Okay, this is still drying. I'll bring you up close in 1 second. I got 3 coats on it, but from here down I got 4. And it looks like our body work here come out superb. Nice and smooth, nothing weird going on. I thought it was a blemish. I don't want to touch it yet. I'll wait until I give it a light sanding. There's a little hair or something that got on there. Who knows? This here, I'm a little bummed. I had to put a little rage in here and it's a little imperfected. So I'll sand this out. I won't do that on film. And I'll repair that area. Otherwise, looks like it come out really good. I know, come here. I like it. Now see that right there, what happened? Right there. I goofed up. It's okay. I can fix that. I thought something was on it here, but it's a little piece of fuzz or something, but I don't want to touch it. It's still drying, of course, but that's drying down there. You can see wet, dry, wet, dry. I nailed it. It don't look it, but I did. I like it. I know I should leave this alone, but I can't because I'm like a child. I took tape and reversed it. I want to see if I can get it off of there. Nope, it's in there. Okay. Well, I've got to sand this anyhow. Give it a scuffing before paint, so not a big deal. But that'll drive me nuts. Okay. Today is Friday that you're watching this, so I think Sunday maybe, or Monday at the latest, because tomorrow and the next day I'm going to put the door, as you see here. I sanded the inside in there, so now I got to do this side. So I know this will take a couple of days, so I'll start filming tomorrow and the next day, and then the third day I'll be able to have a video up. Lots of sanding to do here. I don't know what this is, like they were making a Dalmatian puppy or something. Who knows? Sand this down. I'll do the door next, then we'll do the front section, do the other side, do the roof, and once I get it all in primer, then I'm going to take section by section and paint it and clear it and buff it. Once I get that done, it's going to roll quick after that. All right, so that was part 2 of VW Restoration budget paint job rattle can stuff. Okay, that was part 2. Like I said, I'm going to get on the door now tomorrow and the next day, and then you'll see that video in about 2-3 days. Heather's feeling a lot better, so I can get back on it. Had a little bump there, but I take family stuff serious, very serious. Thank you today, Ed and Willie. for taking out the time to come over and visit and hang out. That was really nice. It really was. Right in the middle of the video, I was like, cool. They both showed up like 5 minutes apart and came from 2 different areas. I wonder if that was planned. Probably not. All right. I'll see you Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern for the Sunday night club meeting live chat. I hope everybody's had a wonderful week. I'll see you in a couple nights.